Hey YouTube, what's happening? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update on Bitcoin. We're at 39.80 right now. We're up 1.98%. Got a nice looking candle that's happening right now, guys. We're up above the 20 EMA. We're up above the 100 moving average. We're up above the 50 moving average. The only one we still need to get up and over is that 200-day moving average, which there's still some distance till we get to that 200-day moving average. You can see that one right here up in this pink-purple line right there. So still a lot of work to do. And what I did for us today, I'm breaking down basically the channels and the overhead resistances that we're going to have to go through and kind of the price ranges on all those. Some interesting stuff. And if you guys like what we do here on the channel, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're trying for 100 likes on this video. Can't do it without each and every one of you. You guys just been awesome for me and I appreciate it. So I hope you're getting something from these videos, learning some things. I'm trying to learn the best that I can as well. So what we have, guys, we're still in this symmetrical triangle here in purple. All right, so we're having higher lows, we're having lower highs that have been taking place, and we still have not got above this purple trend line, this top one. We have not broken out of it yet. We're starting to get a little wick today. We're going to have to find out where that candle ends up. You can see it right down here, so there was some profit taking, but we're going to have to see where it does close. If we're going to come up and test this trend line, if we're going to get out of this trend line, if more volumes to come, or if we're going to see some rejection off that and bounce down, or if we just need a little bit more time and a couple more days to try to get up and out of that. But as you can see in this red box, this is strong overhead resistance, and this is going to be from around that 4,100, 4,200 all the way up to around that 4,500. Now, if we were to get up and over this, what I have in green here is this percentage of this channel, the distance between this overhead resistance and the next overhead resistance, not counting this 200-day moving average, because remember, we have to look at that as overhead resistance as well. Moving averages act as support in uptrends, and they act as overhead resistances in downtrends. So that's definitely an area we'd still have to get through. But if we're taking that out of the equation, just looking at the channel of support and resistance, which is also important, that could be a 20% move to the upside there, if we're able to get over that and start closing over this 200-day moving average. And then up from there, we could have another 10% move till we get into this big cluster, all this chop over here, which is going to be very strong overhead resistance. That's from where we had that descending triangle that we broke down all the way to around 3,100 from that 6,000. So that's going to be strong overhead resistance. There's most likely going to be a lot of bears that are stocking that area. So that's a spot we're really going to have to keep our eye on if we do get back up to that point in the weeks to come. So we're going to close that out. Remember, guys, that's about a 9% channel there. This one here, this is about a 20% channel just from this overhead resistance to this top overhead resistance, not counting the 200-day moving average. So we'll get rid of that there. And then also what you really want to look for is around this $4,278 to $4,300 range. You see all these wicks over here. And over here, we couldn't get up above it. Here, we had this really long shooting star candle. And those are some indicators saying that that's where a lot of bears were up here. They were basically shorting, and they were trying to push the price back down, which we did have. But we're still having those lower highs, and we're not out of this triangle yet. We have to see what we do with this overhead trend line. You know, some good things, though, are we're having a golden cross of our 50 moving average over top of our 100-day moving average, and that's on the one-day chart. So that's significant. We want to put that in our back pocket, saying that's something that's bullish. All right, so that's bullish. We're getting that golden cross. We're up above all three of these moving averages. We're up above this lower trend line right here. We're still making those higher lows, so that's all very important. Next thing I want to look at is our RSI and see if we can pick out any divergences, anything that we can really get some clues from. All right, so price, we're coming back up. We're trying to test this, guys, right up here around that 41.40, right in that range. You can see the RSI is starting to point up. We're making higher lows on it right here. If you were to draw a little trend line, this is what we would want to see hold. And guys, these are just rough trend lines here. There you go, like that. So we want to see that continue to move to the upside, and maybe we can have a shot here at coming up and testing this 76 on the RSI. Remember, RSI is something that you always want to keep your eye out on. It's very important. If price is going up and your RSI is going down, that then you could potentially start having that price movement to the downside. That happens a lot of times. Okay, and then there's another one we can draw right here, guys. This is these higher lows. They've been held since last November in 2018. So that's where we're in that intermediate term uptrend right now, which is good. And we need to continue to see that move, and we need to continue to see this yellow line hold. Want to see it kind of act like a concrete wall, and that's what we're going to have to keep our eye on. If we start having breaks below that, then we could start falling faster and coming down here, testing some of these moving averages around that 36.65, down around 35.31. Then we look at where we had that bullish engulfing candle around that 33.56, and then it would be to test that double bottom around that 31.81. That type of range. But what you're seeing now is also the volume starting to tail down a little bit, so keep your eye on that if price is going to continue to move up today. But we're going to have to wait for some closes. These are the things that I'm looking at. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Not a ton of movement right now, but remember, the macro trend is still down. The micro trend, or the shorter term, intermediate term trend, is up. We're having those higher lows, so we're getting in that, symmetrical triangle. And with symmetrical triangles, you can only work to this apex so long before you break to the upside or to the downside, and that's what we're going to have to keep our eye on. So let me know what you guys think. Are we going to continue to go up, test this trend line up here? We're going to come back down, test some of these moving average, talk to me about the golden cross, all that type of stuff. So guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you enjoy what we do here, and if you like these quicker videos, just want to try to pump them out to you, get them. You guys do what you want with the information. Remember, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just here to show you what the charts are saying. God bless.